Welcome back to another YouTube instalment from Design 911. Now, to all intents and purposes, it looks like I'm in a 981 Cayman GT4, doesn't it? But if you're super eagle-eyed, you will notice actually that this is, well, a 981 Cayman, yes, but not a GT4. It's actually the Carrera S variant. But, as we're going to discover in this video, with some choice modifications, you can have, well, a pretty good value GT4 lookalike. The body kit itself is a pretty convincing one, isn't it? It's from Design 911, obviously. It's really good value for money, it has to be said, at a little over £2,000 plus VAT for the whole lot. There are 5 components to the body kit, as we'll discover very shortly. From the driver's seat, it's a pretty convincing setup, isn't it? Look out the internal mirror, there's the fixed rear wing staring back at me, just like that factory GT4 kit. Similarly, if I look out the side mirror, there's the GT4 side air scoop, again, looking back at me. It's only the absolute discerning enthusiast will notice that this isn't a GT4. Mainly, of course, by looking at the PDK shifter. PDK in this particular Cayman S, it's not the 6-speed manual, is it, that the factory GT4s have. But, as I say, in terms of general daily compliancy, well, it's a great setup, and it means you can have your standard 981 Cayman S, in this case, as I say, with that look of the superior GT4. As we know, we've discussed on this channel before, haven't we, in a previous video, that the 981 Cayman GT4 Star is shining brightly, and has done since it was produced, first of all, in 2015. As I say, it's the first time the GT department had sprinkled its magic dust on that mid-engined Cayman platform. The problem with that popularity is that prices for a GT4 are still quite buoyant. It might be really good value in the context of a Porsche GT car, but in terms of overall Porsche values, it is still fairly steep. It's a 5-figure sum and it starts with a 7. But if you want that more aggressive GT4 look without having to stump up for the real thing, this is a totally amicable answer in my view. Yes, aftermarket exhausts offer a small power increase, don't they, as well as a bit of weight saving, but I mean, let's be honest, the main reason we buy aftermarket exhausts is for the noise, the primary reason. And I have to say, this sounds really good, really good. There's a discernible pickup in torque between 3,000 and 4,000 RPM in the rev range, which isn't there on the standard Cayman 981S, so that's good. In this mode, which I believe has the valves open, it's a really, really good sound. It sounds really throaty, but just kind of accentuates the sound and that guttural howl of the flat 6, I think. So, that's the sound with a big tick in the box. But again, another crucial aspect, particularly if this is going on a Cayman that you would daily drive, is it droney when you're not putting your foot down? Well, the answer is not really, to be honest. I feel like you could definitely live with it if you're cruising on the motorway speeds, sitting at 3,000 RPM currently, and it's okay, particularly again in a Cayman where you're a lot nearer to the engine and the exhaust. So I would argue the sound's going to be a little bit more pronounced anyway than, say, an example in a 911. But it sounds good, as I say, palatable for daily use. And then put your foot down, and that flat 6 scream kicks in quite nicely, doesn't it? So that is the assessment of all the toys on this pretty tasty 981 Cayman S, albeit GT4 lookalike. Just a little something, I think, that adds to the character of this 981 Cayman S. All of the parts, of course, can be found online at design911.co.uk. For all of that, just give the team a call on the phones and they'll gladly book you in. I'm going to have to hand this back, I'm afraid, because it's not my car. One last blat.